So hi all, this is going to be our day 14 of Google Cloud Fundamentals training. As part of day 14, we are going to cover a project. Okay, the project is going to be about deploying a three-tier architecture on Google Cloud Platform with the help of Terraform modules or Terraform configs that uh, we already have in a GitHub. Okay, so we'll be cloning that module. We'll clone it on the Cloud Shell on GCP environment, and from there we'll move forward with all the steps, like what all things are there, what all components are required. We'll go with that explanation. We'll also see the architecture, how it looks like. I'll be sharing my Medium article on which I have explained all of these steps, what are the different layers and all those things, right? So let's move forward with it, and let's look into straightforward into the article, which will cover all of these steps. And first we'll discuss that, and then we'll move to the console. All right. Okay. So the the project that we are discussing now. So this is all about the GCP DevOps infra, like we are doing the DevOps stuff, but also involved more of the infra part. Okay. So here we are going to look into a three-tier architecture and the various components involved there and how it can be deployed with the help of Terraform. Okay. And even if you want to go through it again and again, I already have a content created in a YouTube video already here. So let's look more into details. So before we move forward with anything else, okay, let's see what is a three-tier architecture. Most of you must have heard of three-tier architecture, right? So what is your understanding on whenever we say three-tier architecture? What are the various components involved? Anyone can give an attempt. Anyone can share their thoughts, like what is a three-tier architecture?
I think it's something like front end, back end,
Mm-hmm.
and your database.
Okay.
DB.
Okay. So when you say a front end, okay, so why it is called a front end?
Because
Wait.
the
Mhm.
user is actually using that in front of him. So that's my understanding.
Okay. Anyone else? Any thoughts?
Getting some inputs from the user.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, giving some input and performing some actions on the screen, we can say.
Who is giving the input here?
User is giving the input.
User is giving the
And
input.
and is the user residing within the environment? No, right? The
No.
user is actually coming from the internet,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So he's going to pass on all of their requests through the internet or whatever API calls they are making, correct? But that is very much external, nothing to do with the internal communications or internal setup that you have in place, right? So what the user does is it is going to use this front layer, presentation layer, or you can say the front end, for submitting any request, like we want to retrieve some of the reports which is present in a database, or I want to actually make updates to the database, right? Now the database is actually present at the very core of your architecture or the application, but user only has access to this front end layer. So it is going to pass on all of their requests to this front end, and from front end is going to push it or move it to the backend. Backend will have their endpoints, and that is where it is going to share across the whatever request has come up from the front end side, right? So now front end got this input shared with the backend application, actual application what you're working on, right? So now the actual application is going to perform all sort of operations, whatever it is meant to do. And if there is a database involved, okay, usually that is the scenario. Like for the three-tier architecture, when we say there can be a two-tier architecture as well, where there is no databases involved, right? But here we are talking about the three-tier, where we have a front end, a back end application, and then we have a database tier. Now, this application tier, it is going to securely or internally communicate through the databases, retrieve the information, okay, and then send it back to the front end layer, from where again there will be steps to present it better way, like we want to display that sort of reportings in a better presentable way, and that is where we say a presentation tier. Okay, So that is on very high level what this various components mean. You can definitely go through it many times if you want to get better clarity on what are these different layers. Okay, we usually hear about it, but we never went into understanding what they are: the presentation tier, the application tier, and the data tier, that is the databases. Okay, so in this case, if you see, we have again the presentation tier, which is going to give the application a visual interface. Okay, and then application tier, the actual application is handling all of those user requests with the help of their endpoints, and then performing the calculations, executing the business rules, and ultimately those information is actually stored in a database. So from where it is either going to store it, if it is a kind of just for submitting some request for storing the data, or it is going to actually retrieve it for the reporting purpose. Okay, now if these three components are clear to you, let's move into the actual three-tier architecture what we are going to deploy today as part of a project work for on the GCP platform. Okay, so if you see, as we are discussing here, we got a client who is actually working on these components. Okay, give me a second. Let's move it to another view. Let me know if you are still seeing the screen being shared or if it is getting updated.
Screen.
This one.
It's now changed.
Okay. So now if you see, we got this clients who is actually going to send some request to the front end, right? Now, this is my application. Usually what happens now, this backend will be in a separate, not a project, but it will be part of a private network. And that is what we are seeing here also. So your actual application is, the front end is actually going to take the request from these clients. It can be coming from a computer or a mobile device. Okay, and then it is going to pass on those requests to the middleware, or what you call as a backend application. Okay? But if you see, there is a major difference. Now, front end is actually present with the public IP and all those things enabled for them. But for the backend application, okay, they are only deployed into a private network. Now, what is a private network here? We did a lab with only enabling the internal IPs for the compute engine VMs. So can you relate with that and explain me what is a private network here?
So internal IPs are there. So all will come in the private network.
Right. So we are not allowing anyone to access this environment by disabling the external IPs, right? So we are not letting anyone to access our in this backend application, okay, by disabling this public IPs, okay, only keeping the internal IP for communication. But we will have a firewall rule which will let the front end application IP only to come and communicate with the internal or the backend application, right? You remember that we try to reduce the space of the space of the IPs that can interact with your computer engine instance. Similar to that here also, we try to reduce that space by letting only the front end application to be able to communicate with the middleware or the backend application. No other application, no other IPs should be able to interact with the middleware or the backend application. Okay, is that clear? And also please focus on the architecture. If you see, this communication is unidirectional, but here it is going to be bidirectional, like it is actually taking the request and serving it back. Okay, so request is coming here, it is being sent to the middleware or the backend application, and then response is returned back to this front end application. Okay, so this is our first and the second layer. Okay, now there are multiple other components involved. So this the third one you can say, or even the fourth. Actually, our focus area is on the fourth component as we are seeing here. The third one I'll explain what it is. But let's see what is our backend. I mean the actual database where it is deployed. So all of you must have created this Cloud SQL Postgres instance on when we did the databases services, right? So now this middleware application is going to establish a connection to the database internally. Again, there is no public IP involved. So this is going to be a internal communication or connection from middleware to the backend database. Okay, and that completes your three-tier architecture. The front-end application, the middleware, that is the backend, and backend application, and then you have the backend database, the actual database from where you are going to retrieve or submit some data, right? Now you wonder that there is one more component like Redis or the cache, memory cache store, memory store. Do you remember like during the databases part or this storage part, we were discussing about the memory store? Anyone remembers that, or if you can recall?
Intel.
Memory store.
Okay. So memory storage in the terms of cache, earlier we have used or not. If it is used, it will fetch easily. Something
Right.
like that.
Yes,
Correct?
that is what it means for.
Yes.
So whenever there is an opportunity to retrieve the previously, I mean, to respond back with the previously retrieved data, we will try to cache it, okay, upfrontly so that the load on the database is reduced, right? So we try to cache the data on the memory store, okay, and that's why we have this layer. So whenever there is going to be a communication or the request received on the front end, it is being conveyed to the middleware or the backend application. Now the backend application is first going to check it in the memory store, in the cache. If it is not present in the cache, it will try to retrieve it from the database, okay, and then again cache it to this memory store for future use if there is going to be any, right? So that is how this architecture is working. And there are going to be multiple other components involved, or the shared services, what we call it. So the fifth component or the fifth set of services, which is going to be very much a stable one. Okay, so you need cloud build to build your application, to deploy it also later on, right? You will need to have the cloud identity to enable users or developers or even the yeah, so mostly the users who is going to be able to access this application, you have to control that, right? So you can plan that using the cloud identity, and then you will have the cloud monitoring and logging for monitoring and logging purpose. So these are the shared services. This is what we call as a shared services, this all, right? So they are a part of any of the project that you are working with. You will have most of these components there. Either they are present in the same project, or they I mean on a very interface level, we try to keep them into a separate project for better management of these controls if there are a, a many list of projects to be handled. Okay, that helps in even the scalability. Okay, so now if this architecture so far is clear, let me know if there is any question before we move forward with our actual code deployment and doing it together.
Architecture is clear.
Okay, how about others?
Yeah, it's clear for me.
Okay,
Yeah, it's clear.
fine, no questions, right? Okay, so let me move on then. Give me a second. Fine. So if this architecture is clear to you now, okay, definitely give a shot, and then okay, I will share the link as well. Fine. So please do check out this particular article which explains what are the front-end, back-end application, the memory store, cloud SQL, cloud build, and the other services that we just now talked about, right? Now let's go with the code. Okay, so let me share my entire screen now. Allow me a minute. Okay, so so the architecture wise we are good. Let's take this code and then deploy it or copy it, actually clone it on a Google Cloud Console Cloud Shell. Okay, so now everyone can attempt this step before I stop sharing and then try to explain it with someone else doing the lab. Okay, so all of you, can you go to your console, activate the Cloud Shell, so I'm just making a quick note of the steps by the time you are getting ready with your console. Okay, okay. So the steps that we are going to perform, first of all, we need to clone this. Okay, so we need to clone the repo, and then we have to go into the folder where the repo is cloned. And from there you need to run the Terraform init to initialize the Terraform, run the Terraform plan to generate a plan of what is going to be deployed, and then ultimately we run the Terraform apply to apply these changes to deploy the application on your environment. Okay, once we have tested the application, looks good, and you get a URL to test it out. Okay, and after done with all of this stuff, please do ensure that you destroy all of these changes, because this is going to cost you a lot. Okay,
So first command git clone is for finished.
yeah, we'll walk through it. That Vishal, give me just a second. Okay,
Oh, so we don't have to do it. Okay.
yeah, you have to do it, but I'm going to walk through it. Okay, so for now, just look into the clone step. Okay,
Yes.
so everyone is ready with the console, right? The
Yes.
GitHub console. Okay, now let's have this git clone command run. I have already shared the commands in the chat. Everyone should have it. So use this git clone, and the name of the, sorry, I did it incorrectly. Git clone, and you can have the name of this repo. which you can get it from here, right?
Okay. Git clone, then command.
Git clone and the repo name, the complete repo that you get it from the GitHub, right? This is the repo from where we are copying, and you will get it. I mean, there are various way to clone it. So we are using the HTTPS method. There can be SSH way of doing it or GitHub CLI, but in this case, we are using this HTTPS, using this copy command, right? This will work for any setup. So now then enter. It should be able to clone the repo on your own Cloud Shell environment, which you can check with the help of ls-ltr command, or just ls also is fine. LTR gives me ascending order of when it was copied.
Is done. Clone command is done.
Okay.
Then ls space -ltr we need to run.
Yeah, just to see that you got this repo created.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is created.
Okay. So let's see. Now let me take anyone's screen if you want to share, and we'll take it forward from there.
I will share my screen.
I would say that if someone else also wants to
Okay, you
share,
cannot.
so let's give opportunity to others also.
Yes, definitely. Why not?
So who wants to share?
I have a
Vijay?
question.
Yes, Vishal.
After this LSLTR,
Mhm.
I am seeing a little bit different lines than what you are showing.
No, you will have only one GCP 3-tier app.
That is there. Okay.
Yeah. Ignore the other ones. That is what I have from previous work. Okay. So Vijay, would you be sharing your screen, and I can walk through with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
So let me stop sharing.
I would not open that.
Go ahead. Right.
I have opened that GitHub, but
Yes, you have this Git repo, right? So copy that name of the repo. I mean, click on code.
yeah.
Yes, you have this. Yeah, copy that. Now go to console.
That console I have not opened. So from here, which is the link for that console?
So you need to open the console. Do you have the link to the console?
Second link.
Yes.
Okay. Now open the Cloud Shell.
Sorry.
Please, open the Cloud Shell. You can see that on the just next to search, where you can see the search, there is Cloud Shell. Yes, activate that. Meanwhile, those who have already opened the got this cell. Give me a second. Okay, so those who got this console already, the repo already cloned, no? You can actually click on the open editor. Yeah, go ahead, Vijay, clone it. Okay, do ls. right? And now cd, type cd and then the name of that repo, right? GCP hyphen 3tier. You can use GCP, and then you can use the tab to get it completed. Yeah, right? Everyone can try that. Enter. Okay, so now you are into that repo. Fine. Now let's do one more thing. Can you click on to click on the link which opens this console or the cloud shell into a new tab? The very second last option in this particular screen, like on the cloud shell, where you see the cross. No, not here. At the end, the right of it. Yes.
Mm.
And before that, yes, this one. Okay. So it will open the console or the cloud shell in a separate window. Okay. Also, now click on there. You can see the pen sign.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Open that. That will open the editor for the shell. So now you have both opened. You have the cloud shell with the terminal and as well as the editor, right? What next you can do? You can now click on the open folder, right? And open this particular folder. Yes. Yes, open that. Right. So now you have opened this repo itself on the editor. Everyone is here till so far.
Yes,
So
Jitendra.
one thing I want to share is my
Mhm.
editor opened in new tab.
Right.
I mean, my Cloud Shell and this current screen are in different tabs.
That's fine. That's completely fine as long as you are able to work with it.
Okay.
Okay. There is no concern with that. Okay. So
Yes.
so now you have your editor, your terminal with you. You have the code in place. Okay. So let's deploy it first, and then later we are going to discuss all of those components. Okay, because it is really going to take a bit of time. So let's save some time there. So before we discuss all those code, okay, let's run this command to deploy it. Right. So can you click on the terminal, like where you are running, writing the commands? No, it's already open. Wait, Vijay.
Yeah.
You have it open, right? Down. Yeah.
Mm.
Right. So now, can you click on the command?
Yeah.
I mean, type the command Terraform init. Okay. Before that, maybe just test it out if Terraform is there or not. So type Terraform and type also version, space version. Yes. Terraform space version. Yes. Okay. Enter. So you confirm that we have the Terraform installed, right?
Hmm.
So we have the version Terraform 1.5.5. Okay.
Okay.
Now we are going to run the Terraform commands to deploy the 3-tier architecture that we discussed just some time back. So run this command Terraform init, Terraform space init. Okay, enter. So what? Yes, you have to authorize it so that it can download all the required providers information. Like this is going to uh, get all of the details of. Okay, what is it? Okay, let's resolve it now. So what are the errors that you're seeing here?
Duplicate data.
Fine. So there can be some challenges with this repo. So better what we will do, we will remove this and we'll copy us another repo that we have in the same place. I will share this link, or maybe everyone can give it a try. You can get it from your site itself. So if you see, there can be errors also, and you have to resolve that. I'm just showcasing that how any particular error can come up, right? So this is an error that we already have a resource named project already in that main.tf and all. So let's ignore this particular repo. Okay. So do this ls command. Maybe you can move one step before. So run the command cd space dot dot. Okay, enter. Do the ls command again. Right. So now you can see you have that repo what you had cloned just now, right? So we want to remove it and we will clone another repo with the same name, but it is in a different branch on the GitHub. Okay. So let's run this command rm -rf. That is like we are removing forcefully, recursively of any content into that directory, okay, and even the directory itself, right? So use another space and then give the name of that repo, GCP, and then you can use tab to, yes, enter. So now do the ls command again. You will not be able to see that repo, right? It is gone. Correct?
Yes.
So far, everyone here?
Yes.
Anyone facing any challenge so far?
No.
Okay. Yusuf, you are able to follow, right?
Yeah, I'm following it.
Okay, fine. Now let's copy a different branch of the same code because that has the fix. Okay. So go to the repo, the GitHub repo. You have it open there. The second last actually. Before that, just before that, yes. Okay. Yes. Copy. Okay. First you change the branch. You can see the branch is on. Can you see the branch? Yeah. So you can see the main. You can click on that drop down of that main. Or yeah, even this is also fine. The dev one is what we are going to take. Okay. Again, yeah, copy that and let's try with this one. Can you move or close all of this tab maybe for now? Okay. So did you take this the clone from the dev branch? You copied
Yes.
it from the dev branch, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Paste it here and then let's go from there again. So everyone got the dev branch, right? And you are able to copy from there.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's go to the editor and let's probably look into some of the variables because that may have a conflict, right? So let's see what all variables we have. Yeah, you can refresh that. Can you refresh it? I mean, there is a way to refresh that folder. Yeah. No, don't refresh the complete page actually. Yeah, here only. Right. Okay. Scroll down a bit and let's look into tf. I mean dev.tf vars. Yeah, dev.tf vars. So here I have some values. What you need to do, you have to see what is the project name for your project, everyone. So you need to identify what is your project name. Can everyone get the project ID for your projects? Go to the console tab like the previous tab. Vijay, can you go to the previous tab on your browser? Yes. No, not this one, the console one. Right. Okay. Can you see what is the name of your project? Like you can see my first project, that is what it is displaying, right? Click on that. Now you can see the project ID. The ID is on the right hand side. For everyone, if you have noticed it, this is your project ID and the other one is your project name. There is a difference. Okay. So project ID will be used to even tag your billing accounts and all, right? So you have to use this project ID in our Terraform modules. Okay. Now copy. Yes.
I see there are two my projects.
So you have to take one, that is where you are going to deploy it.
Okay.
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 So take just one value where you want to deploy your project. Fine. Let's go to the Cloud Shell again and just make a note of this project ID. Maybe you can replace it there. Yes, project ID, replace with that.
I'm unable to go there, Jitendra. It
Where?
is not coming in this, whatever he is doing.
Why are not able to get?
Okay. So I have done the same git clone and that command I have run, but it is not able to create that directory.
Did you not create the directory? I did not understand that.
Okay. So earlier we were able to see na GCP folder was created, but it is not showing here. ls space -lt is not working.
Yeah, you have to refresh it, or maybe you have to click on open folder and then you can go to that folder.
Open editor is there. Open folder is not there.
Open editor. Have you opened the editor earlier or not?
Yes.
Okay. So you have the editor open, right?
Yes.
Can you see the file? Vijay, if you can click on file on the editor, not on the terminal, but on the editor, the top one. Yeah, file, right? And there we can have like a open folder, or yeah, just click on open workspace, right? And this is how you can get like you can select the folder or the project where you want to work with, correct? So did you reach there now?
No, Jitendra, I didn't reach there. Just a
What is
second. File.
Rajiv, are you
Okay.
seeing open in a new tab in center of the editor?
Okay. Folders are there. If I open the folder, GCP build instance metadata, these things are there. Can I share for 1 minute?
okay? Go ahead. Yeah, Vijay, can you stop sharing?
Okay, this is the my screen. Able to see?
Yes, I can see it, and I can see the GCP 3-tier app also. You can click on open, and that's all.
Okay. But it was not opening here. Why?
It is opening. Refresh it. Click on that round thing.
Okay.
You have written something there, and that's why it is not able to show. Just click on that where you have the cursor now.
I'm here in the cursor. Nothing is
Here,
happening.
see, remove this Terraform where whatever it is showing. Yes, remove that. Okay, refresh it.
Nothing is happening. It's not opening itself. This
But
is the
did you clone it from dev or not? I
done.
don't think you. Where?
See, from dev.
Do the ls command again.
Ls it is not coming.
That's what I'm saying. You have not cloned it again.
It is now it is coming. Earlier I have run this command. It was not coming. See.
Can you go to this CD and GCP 3-tier? Go there. Use tab. Yeah. Enter. Now ls. You have the files, right?
Yes.
No, earlier the ls command was wrong. ls hyphen LTR, right?
Yeah.
You're giving
It is
ls
ls
LTR.
hyphen LTR. Correct. Now refresh your editor wall page part again. Yeah. Refresh that.
Not working. Tried many times.
Then refresh it. Refresh the complete page.
This page.
Yeah. Okay. Then click on the open editor. I mean the pencil sign that you're seeing. Can you pass on the control? Yeah, Raju, can you pass the control? Okay, here you have it now. Yeah, so you can continue from there. Fine. So Vijay, you can go ahead. You can start sharing again.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So let's continue and run this Terraform init again, and let's see what it says now.
To do again from our side also?
Yes. Okay,
Okay.
so you have to be under first of all, wait. So first of all, you have to be into the folder, the repo. So do the cd GCP 3-tier app. Okay, cd
Okay.
space GCP 3-tier app. Okay, so you can use tab here. Yeah, right, enter. Fine. Now you are into the repo where the Terraform modules are present. You have to ensure that Terraform modules, wherever it is present, there only you need to run this command, right? Now you run the Terraform init command. Terraform init. Yes, okay, that will initialize. Yes. Now what is the error?
Same error.
Okay, so let's look into this module itself, main.tf. Can you go to the main.tf file?
Yeah, one minute.
Mhm. So main.tf, right? It will be there in the outer folder only. Yes, the second one. Yes. Yeah. Can you reduce the window size of a terminal? Like you can drag it down. Yes. Yeah, that's all. Okay. So what does it say? Okay. So this is saying that we have this data of the project ID. It is already defined. Fine. So maybe we can comment it out for now. Let's see if that works. So comment this particular part of code. You can use the hashes for each line at the start of it. Yeah. Use hash. Yeah. Right. Okay. So everyone, just keep following it. So now save it. I mean, just click on, using the control S, it will save anyway. Okay. And try to run init again. Okay. What is the next error? There should be a few or list of it.
Failed to get existing workspace. Everything cloud storage failed. Google API error 403. My email does not have storage.object.list access to the Google Cloud Storage bucket.
Right.
Permission storage.bucket object list denied on resource, or it may not exist.
Okay.
Access.
So let's see. Now we need to have the rights of set of permission, or maybe the API itself is not enabled, right? So give it another try. If by this time the API is enabled for you.
You can Terraform minute.
Yes. Run this command. Still the same error.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's fix this. So go to the console. Okay. I mean the GCP console, the previous tab on the browser. Okay. Move out of this. Okay. Now let's go to that's fine. So maybe you can even just click on the three lines on the left hand side. And use this go to the cloud storage, or wait, add a permission for cloud storage, right? So maybe you can use this IAM and admin. Go to IAM and admin on there itself. Yes. Okay. And then you have IAM, the very first. Okay. If anyone is behind, please stop and then ask now itself. Okay. Okay. Now scroll down, up or up. Just, can you close this window, like the terminal, the cloud cell one? Yeah. reject that and then leave that. Yeah, and click on the cross. Down, you can see the cross here. Remove that, okay? You can also close these tutorials. Right, okay. Now you can just click on your ID. This is from where it is trying to perform that action, right? Yeah. So click on it. Now edit principal, add another role. Yes. Search for it, like on the drop down. Now search for storage admin. Storage, write it down completely. Storage space admin. Yeah. So space admin. I mean storage space admin. That is how it should be written.
Yeah, that is only written. No?
Is there a space? Okay, that's fine. Now scroll down and look for, yeah, this one, storage admin, as a new role that you are adding here. Okay, and save it. Done? Is that done?
Yeah.
Everyone is here so far? Are you able to follow here?
No, Jitendra, I need to give that access in the terms of. Can you show me again where to give the access? I am.
Vijay, can you go to the previous tab and then show it?
Storage.object.list. Yeah.
Okay. So I am in that location. After that,
Then
need
you
to
have
add
this ID. Can you see your ID with which you are getting the error?
ID.
This was your mail ID with which you were getting the error when you ran the Terraform init.
Access permission. Okay, cloud cell and duplicate data Google project configuration. This was the error. Let me share my screen for 1 minute.
Okay, let's sort it out the other way around, okay? Instead of putting the effort here. Vijay, go to the Cloud Cell, I mean the next tab for now. Okay, and let me just point out the backend itself. Give me just a second. Okay, Vijay, can you go to the next tab on Cloud Cell? That is what, yeah. Okay, and open the providers.tf. Right, and comment out all of this. Providers.tf is the file where you need to comment out so that it is not going to look for a backend on the cloud. Okay, like whenever you are running a Terraform module, it is going to generate a state file which will have all this information of what it has done, what all setups are there, how the infrastructure is created. So comment out, save it, and then run the init command again. Okay, and this way it should work for everyone. Let me know if anyone else is finding any challenges with this. Providers.tf is the file that is what you need to edit. This is for creating the backend on the cloud bucket, cloud storage bucket. Okay, we have commented it out, so this time it is going to create the state file in your own current Cloud Shell environment. Vijay, you can just quickly run this ls command. And can you see a file named state file? Is it here? No. Everyone done with this step or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. How about you, Visal?
Yes.
Okay. So far your init command has run without any error, right? Agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine. Let's move on. So now let's run the next command, which is Terraform plan.
Mine is not completed, Jitendra. It is still giving error.
What is the error, Aju?
Okay. Error is argument or block definition required.
Where?
in the providers.tf, which I have commented.
You have commented everything, right? With the hash, with the use of hash and saved it,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Okay. Please share your screen.
Unless you will not stop sharing.
Yeah, you can stop sharing.
Yeah, Jitu, what do you say?
Can you stop sharing and let's continue with Raju?
Yes,
He's
yeah,
facing some
yeah.
challenges. Okay.
Yeah, go.
Okay.
Okay. Able to see?
Yes, I can see that.
Okay. So I've commented main.tf first. This is all commented.
No, see, is it commented right?
I think it will be here, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Then again, I will try Terraform.
In it.
Not is done.
Okay. Can you cross that download audio from this file page? What it is? Can you close that? Or maybe can you exit that? Raju, can you exit this? What is this? The other download thing. Yeah. There. Okay. Fine. So far everyone is here, right? You have done with the init command. Let's run this Terraform space plan.
Okay.
Type the command Terraform space plan. We are going to generate a plan of what we are going to deploy altogether on this project, right? Now the value it is going to ask you.
Okay.
You have your project ID with you. Can you enter that or paste it here?
No, where to get that one? Project ID?
You had checked your project ID in this the previous tab, right? Can you go to the previous tab and get your project ID? Click on my project, my first project.
This one?
Yes. Copy that. Paste it here. Enter. Okay. Now give it as a region and the zone also it will ask. So
Okay.
you have that from the dev.tf vars. Maybe you can open that file and take the values copied from there. Right. So you can copy that. Yeah. So this is your region where we are going to deploy it. Okay. Enter. What happened?
Don't know.
You have no. I think something you skipped directly. I don't know. So you have to run the plan command again. Nothing happened. Nothing wrong.
Okay.
Just
Can you press?
yes.
Justice.
Enter.
Okay. Okay. And plan.
Enter.
Yes. Okay.
First, you need to enter the project ID.
Okay. This is the project ID. Enter the region. Can I type it?
Yes, you can type US hyphen space. I mean hyphen central one.
Enter.
Enter. Yes. Again, US central one hyphen A. Yes. Okay. That's all. So now it will generate a plan for you. Now, what is the issue here? What are the error you are getting? Can you scroll? No, hold on. There are errors, right? So can you scroll through that? Everyone getting this error?
No, I don't have any error.
Okay. Who else have got the errors?
Yeah, I got this error. Cloud Resource Manager API has not been used in the project.
Okay, and go up. So Rajiv, if you see, there are going to be a list of errors.
Okay.
Scroll. I mean, keep scrolling up on the terminal.
Not able to do.
Either you need to manually enable these services or the APIs, or you can do it with the Terraform script as well.
We have that we have that already added as part of this module. So now it will get slowly enabled for you. Okay, so try to, okay, let's see. I mean, maybe we can wait for some time and it should get enabled for you, or let's see what is there in the services that we can do with this command line itself. So scroll, I mean, just bring on this editor. So yeah, pull it down a bit, and then let's go to services dot enable services dot tf file. Yeah, okay. Scroll, I mean, bring this terminal a little down, pull it down, pull it down. Okay, yeah, that's all. That's all. So if you can see, these are the services that we need to enable, right?
Okay.
So let's try to do that on the command line itself.
Okay.
Type the command gcloud services enable gcloud space gcloud space services space enable space. Okay, now copy, just let's try with one of the API. So you can see in the config you have activate APIs, right? So try with the second one. I think the first one should be already by default enabled, but anyway, give it a try.
First one,
Okay.
try.
Yeah, try that. Enter, I mean, copy and paste here and enter. Okay,
Done.
so that means it got enabled. Now you need to do same thing for all of those APIs.
Okay.
First you just scroll up so that we have a list of all the APIs what we need to work on. Scroll up.
Okay. So a lot of the things are there. Okay.
Yes, Raju. So we have to copy that individual and then keep on appending.
Okay. So can I copy all time in a single way? Control C.
No. Okay. Even
What
you
I can
can
do?
see that is going to take a lot of time. Can you
Yes.
pass on the control to me?
Yes. Give me access.
Okay. Yeah. If you can pass on the control.
Given.
Okay. Thank you. So let's see what all APIs we have to do. We got gcloud services enable, and in that we need to enable for compute APIs done. Let's enable the cloud APIs.google APIs. Okay, we can keep on appending the list. Okay,
Okay. One by one.
we should have the VPC access. Let me give it a first try if that helps. Okay, it is working, so it is going to take a bit of time. Yes.
Done.
So those two are done, right?
Yes. Total 3
Yeah.
are done.
3 are done.
7 left.
So we'll do the 7 at once.
Okay.
Okay, so everyone please keep following here. Let's enable the APIs. So we are enabling the API for Cloud Build, for Cloud SQL, even for the service networking, like we want to have the networkings enabled, right? So that has to be there. Then for SQL also, the user who is going to, actually the application who is going to perform the task on behalf of us as a service account, that also should have the SQL admin kind of privileges, so that API has to be enabled. Cloud storage APIs, as well as we are not using the state file in this scenario. I think we can even skip it, but for now let's keep it here. Okay, and again you can see this, we are running the run.googleapis.com, which is for cloud run service. You remember the compute options that we looked into? So here in this scenario, we are going to run only the cloud. I mean, we are going to deploy in the cloud run. Okay. We are not using the compute engine. We are not using Kubernetes or the app engine, even the cloud function, but only cloud run is going to be one environment through which we are going to deploy the front end, the back end, okay, and the databases are being taken care by the Cloud SQL and the memory store. Fine. So the services are enabled now. So let's see if this helps for us. So I have already done this ls command. That's fine. Like I have cleared the terminal for now using the clear commands. Now let's run the Terraform init, not the Terraform init, but Terraform plan command again. Okay, and let's see what it says. So I need to provide the project ID, which is coming from here. Okay, and then the region where we are going to deploy it. US Central 1, the zone US Central 1E. Oh, sorry, US Central 1-A. That is the zone where we are going to deploy it based off what you have in the dev.tfs. Okay. Fine. Now let's see, there are a few more errors what we are seeing here. What is that error? It says that some API is not enabled. What is this API?
Cloud
Resource
Resource
Manager.
Manager.
Okay. So Resource Manager API, that is what we need to enable. This is the one, right? Is it everyone getting the same error? Everyone getting the same error?
Yes.
Okay, so let's resolve that as well. So we can have services enabled for, oh, sorry, why this is coming here? Okay, I will type it. Cloud Resource Manager dot Google APIs.com. Okay, right? So that is also enabled again. And let's start with the plan command again. Let's have the project ID. Then the region, which is US Central 1, and the zone US Central 1-A. Okay. Let me know if everyone was able to get so far with the plan being generated here. You should see 26 resources to be deployed. Is this the case for everyone?
Jitendra, that error about API manager, what you would have done?
I have enabled it. So you can see the command that we have run, gcloud services enable, and it was on that resource manager API was not enabled. So we have to enable that.
That I have done all
Mhm.
services API I enabled.
Okay.
But that error was you are getting also last error.
Yeah, the last error was again for one more API. It was not enabled.
Okay.
Right. So
Yeah,
it was
that same error I am also getting. What you done?
Yeah, it is resourcemanager.googleapis.com.
Okay, that service is enabled. Okay.
Fine.
Yeah, I'm checking. Yeah.
So you can run this particular command.
Hey, I made some mistakes. How can I correct?
What is the mistake?
Instead of project ID, I put value of the region.
That's okay. You can run the plan again and then enter it again. See, so far no harm. Unless you have deployed anything, there is no harm. Okay. So execute Terraform plan again, and then this time you enter the correct project ID and then the region and the zone. Okay. So Vijay, did it fix for you?
No, I'm doing it.
Okay. Let me know if everyone is done with the plan command so that we can move on to next command. All done? Okay. For those who has already completed fine with the plan command, continue running the Terraform apply command. Okay. And this time again you have to enter the same values like the project ID, okay, the region and the zone.
ID.
US Central 1 and 1A. Let me know if all of you have executed the Terraform apply command, enter the values, and you are into the same screen where I am now.
Yes.
Yes.
Everyone here so far?
Yes.
How about you, Vijay?
Yeah, the 26 plan added. What is done?
So first of all, you have run the plan after enabling the service.
Yeah.
And the plan is successful when you saw 26
Yeah.
components to be installed, right?
Yeah.
Next you run Terraform apply,
Okay.
right? Terraform space apply apply, and again you have to have the project ID, region, and the zone details. Okay. Once you do that, you should be able to reach to this screen where I am now. Okay. Everyone with me so far?
Yes, Jit.
Naresh?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
with you.
Okay, fine. So at this point, it is still like, because now we are actually going to deploy something. So this is kind of a step where it is ensuring that you are not doing something accidentally. So now still it is going to ask me whether you approve moving to deploy these components or not. And we have to only say yes if you want to approve. Otherwise, you can use Control C or anything to cancel it, or you just close the screen, right? As we want to deploy it, let's do that. So you can type with me, enter a value as yes. Okay. And now it will actually start deploying the components to the project. Just to add a caution here that it may incur some charges, not a lot of charges, some charges just for one-time deployment. Okay. So as soon as you are done with this deployment, you have testified everything, we are going to undeploy it or destroy it. Okay. So everyone is here, like they are now seeing that it is getting deployed.
Yes.
If anyone is behind, let me know. All good, right?
Yes, good.
Okay, fine. So let it be running. Meanwhile, let's see what code we have here. Okay, because that is very important to understand. What are things we are doing here? We have a front end, back end, that is a middleware, and we should have a database, correct? These are the things that we are deploying. So let's go one by one. We will see the web app front end. This is going to be a config for the front end application, what we are going to see once it is deployed. So to access the front end, before that, like whatever things you are going to do, all the time you will have a name of the project where you are going to deploy, like the region where we are deploying it, as it is a cloud run service, it will be deployed in a region. Okay. Then the project ID we are providing, under which project we are going to deploy this front end, right? Then there is a template which will take care of deploying the front end. Like we will have a container. Containers are like when we were talking about the Kubernetes concept. So we had some sort of an image which gets deployed into the container or the pods, what we were talking about, right? So Cloud Run is again a container as a service kind of scenario itself. Like you are actually using a container to deploy in the Cloud Run, right? So here I'm taking a image of an application, front end application, which is nothing but a to-do app, okay, which works in that direction. Now, as it is a front end, I'm actually adding a port 80, that is HTTP, to be able to accessible for this app. So with that, I can access it. Okay. Then it is going to interact with a endpoint. That is what I was talking about. So it is going to interact with the backend's endpoint. Okay. And this particular value is actually coming from the backend application, backend app status. If it is up and running, then whatever URL it will have, to that the front end is going to communicate the request. Okay. Then we will have some metadata around it, like what are the labels and all, if you want to add some labels around. Okay. So this is about the front end application code or the config on the Terraform. Similar to that, we should also have something on the backend, right? So here you can find the backend app TF. Same thing, you need to provide the the provider details, like what provider you are using. Here we have the Google's beta provider, or the Google as the provider under which we are going to deploy all of these components. You need to provide the location and the project. As the application or the backend application is also going to run on the Cloud Run, the code will look similar in that direction. Like here also you will have the container and the image, but this time it is going to be a different application which is meant for backend, and it also needs to interact with the databases, right? So we need to provide the information about the database basis it is going to interact with. So in the environment, I'm providing the Redis host, which is for memcache or the memory store. And also I'm providing the details for the PostgreSQL database, right? So this is what I'm sharing here. Whenever a database will be there, we need some user and the connections created for it. That environment we need to provide, and the database name. Similar case for the Redis also, on which port it will be available, like that. Okay. So these are going to be information about the backend application or the backend middleware application which we are going to use. Okay. The next part of the code is going to be about the database. The database information. See, when you create work with the Cloud SQL instance on during the database services, at that time, whatever you created with the console, the same information here we are able to do the same thing with this code, the Terraform code. So we are providing some reserved IP and all, everything we are doing here. Okay. Generating some IDs, and also this is the information or the config related to the database that we are creating now. It is getting created while we are talking, right? You can see here the database instance main is still getting created. That is basically taking a lot of time, and that's why we are just able to continue with this part of understanding this code. Okay. For database, again, you can see you will have separate resources. You have the G-Cloud SQL user, the database name. So all of this information will be there in the config of databases. So which concludes like most of the part of the three-tier architecture. Okay, so you have the front end code, back end code, and the database code. These three components are done. Now let's see what actually makes it work on the project. What all components are required apart from this config. I mean, they are not just going to work otherwise, right? So we need to have further details. Like we have just now saw, we need to enable all of those APIs so that it works. Otherwise, it was throwing an error, right? So we had to enable all of these APIs related to those databases, those middleware, the Cloud Run, Redis. Okay, so we enable that. That is one thing. Next is we need to have a network under which it is getting deployed, right? So you got your project, but without network, how it is going to communicate? You need a network, right? And when we are talking about the network, you can see we are creating a private network for deploying our Cloud Run and other components. So we have this private network getting created. Okay, and we need to enable the VPC peering because when the Cloud Run is going to talk to the databases, it is going through an internal communication. So there is going to be another set of service which helps in helping through that. Okay, so we are enabling this networking connections and all those stuff here. Okay, so this particular config is for the networks, right? The providers we have disabled here, but in general practice, we should have a backend created. Like in case of providers, actually I'm highlighting the backend for the state file, like all of those whatever configuration we are talking about. So how that is being tracked, that is actually present in the state file. So that is where we are going. We should be able to store it, and that has to be very securely kept because even the passwords and all will be stored there, right? So we need to keep it in the safe place, you can say. So here I had enabled like adding a backend, which is going to be a backend in the Google Cloud Storage bucket. So I had to create a bucket first, providing some more details, and that is where it would have saved. In our case, in present, like when we are doing it now, so we did not had actually created any buckets and all. So for now, we are just storing the state file on the Cloud Shell itself. We'll see that as well when it is once it is done. Okay, we'll show that. So now the backend is done, and let's see some of the values that we want to capture. Like once these particular steps, all of these commands are done and the application is deployed, what it will do, it is going to generate an output of the web app URL and also what was the name of the database. That is what I'm capturing. But we can even capture more of the details, whatever we want, using the output parameter in the configs. Okay. Then do you remember that we were talking about the service accounts, which which are the machine ID, and they help us in doing the tasks that we cannot actually go and do at human level all the time, right? So they are actually doing the task on our behalf. They are machine ID. So now, like you can say, uh, something that Cloud Run wants to perform with the Cloud SQL. So it will we will create a service account in the Cloud Run. You can say Cloud Run service, and from there we are going to assign it certain privileges, which will allow it to perform the tasks on its behalf to the databases, or even if you want to allow any external users to run the Cloud Run service itself. Okay, for that also we need a service account. Okay, so here we are adding some permissions. Like you can see here, we are adding a invoker, Cloud Run invoker, like who can actually execute that particular Cloud Run service. Like you have the front end, right? Now front end, whenever someone is actually submitting a request, it will trigger the Cloud Run, and then it will perform all those steps like going and interacting with the backend endpoint, and then backend endpoint is actually going and retrieving the information from the database. So all of that task is done with the help of this run invoker, and we actually enable it for all the users for only backend application. I mean the front end and the backend is actually going to do the similar task for next step anyway. So that is about the the service account. Okay, then we need to define certain variables in a separate file. That is from where you are being asked all the time, what is the project ID, what is the compute region and the zone, right? This is from where it is capturing it. Okay, next is about this is completely fine. I mean, this is actual best practices part of it, like you are maintaining a version of your application like that. Okay, then we have the versions.tf, which is for what provider we are using and what version of the provider we are using. All those information we are keeping here. Okay, so all of these components all together is enabling you to be able to deploy your application on the project. Okay, so you can definitely tweak it as per your requirement or to enhance your learning, but in the gist, this is how the applications are working and how the TF codes are created. Okay. Now, as the config is already running here, you can see it is still getting deployed. One thing that you can notice here is that we are able to generate the Terraform.tf state file, okay, which has all of, it's like a source of truth for all of the components, whatever it is deploying or maintaining. If we edit something here, it will not be able to track it on your environment, and that is very harmful, because it is like becomes very much of a zombie process, where it is not able to track anything, that cannot delete it, you cannot maintain it with Terraform. So there is going to be another process altogether for it to recover. But just for high level, Terraform state is like maintaining the state of your application or the deployment. Okay, so it is getting generated here. So let's wait for this particular components to be deployed, and we'll do a quick test once we get the URL of the app that we are deploying. Okay, and then later we are going to destroy it. Let me know if for anyone it is already completed, like if the deployment is done and they got the web URL. Do let me know. Okay, or anyone got any error, any question that we want to discuss by the time this is getting done. Go ahead.
Jitendra, like where do we specify like this file contains the backend instructions and this contains front end?
Okay, so Naresh, just for everyone, see, it is up to us how we want to maintain our Terraform files. Okay,
Yeah.
I have made a separate configuration for each of the components, like for variable, for the backend. Give me a second. Yeah, the backend, right? I have named it differently, but
Yes.
if you want, you can just keep everything in one file also. That's completely okay. It is
Okay.
just that the resource block what you are creating. So if you see, these are the resources I'm creating, right? Now,
Yes.
the resource name is Google Cloud Run Service. Okay. So I'm actually deploying a Google Cloud Run Service. I'm going to use it for my own purpose. Like here, I'm using it for backend application. And according to that, only I need to create my backend application, right? Is it clear? Yes?
Yeah, clear.
Yeah. So I'm actually adding all of those details, what I need into the backend application, and that is what I'm putting here. What for same thing for front end, we'll have the separate set of environment setup and all those details, and even it will have the endpoint for the backend. In this one, you won't find a endpoint for backend because it is the backend actually, right? So these are defined in a resource block, simply saying. So all of those components, whatever you are going to develop, that will be part of resource block, and we cannot have our own resource block. This is provided by the Terraform itself.
Like that.
Okay, they are maintaining this. These are nothing but again a sort of API calls only what they have developed, and that's how it is actually going to verify, check with the Google Cloud environment, deploy it, do this stuff, right? So all of that it is able to do with this sort of APIs they are creating. Okay. Any other question?
So Terraform is kind of a application, or it's just a name how we do this?
It's an application, it's a product, you can say, for infrastructure deployment. Okay.
Yeah. Can you tell how, like, any tutorials are available, like how to?
Yes. Yeah, there is a set of, not only the tutorial, but there are set of certificates as well, specifically for the Terraform. Okay.
Okay.
So as a infrastructure developer, you should have that, like if you are looking from that perspective. And I heard that Rajiv is looking into that.
This message.
Yeah, I also got this error.
Okay. So what is the error here?
Waiting to create a service.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's fix that then. Okay, maybe we can just retry running that. Okay, so we can try the same command again. this time it is not going to say like, okay, let me cancel it first. Let's run this Terraform plan again and see how many resources are left to be created now. If you have made a note of project ID already, just try to run Terraform plan again. And then now let's see how many resources we have already created and how many we have to create. If you are seeing this refresh is being done right, it is actually checking from the state file what all things are already there and what we have to do. So if you can see, it says that we got 4 plans to add, 4 components to be added, and 1 to destroy, something that did not complete here. Okay. So now let's run the Terraform apply, because the other components which are already there, they will not be destroyed otherwise. We just need to deploy what is not already deployed. Okay, so let's execute this command again, enter the project details and the region and zone. And it is trying again to deploy. I need to say yes. Okay, let's see. Now what is the error? Okay. Okay, so it is seeing something, an error with the cloud run or the backend that we are trying to work with. Okay, so let's find it out. Backend app. Okay, so it is not able to fetch it from this particular project, right? So let me try with updating it from a different project. Let me give a chance. Give me a second. There is a different repo from where it should have fetched. Give me a second, I should be able to fix it. Everyone getting the same error or it is different for you?
Same error.
Okay.
I'm getting message that web app will be created.
Mm-hmm.
On 4
Okay.
to add, 0 to change, 1 to destroy.
See, this is the image it is trying to access, but it is not present here, right? And because of that, it is not able to pull it. So Let's fix that. Do we have something under this main.tf, right? Okay. Yes. So it should be actually able to take it from here. Why it did not work there? Let's see. Okay. So what we will do, we will take or update the code in the other part of it, like the web app and the front end with this particular image. So this is for API image, which is backend. Okay. Now in the backend, let's update this image. And same thing we'll do for the front end as well. Okay. Now let's rerun this particular code. I hope everyone got this one. From main.tf, you will have, yeah, so from main.tf, you will have this image files. The image files, one is for the backend, so you can copy that, replace it in the backend, and same thing you can do for the front end as well. And we will just comment out whatever is there in the main.tf. Okay, this is the edit we need to do.
So for me, should I do this or not? Because it's saying web app will be created.
Is it getting created, or did you get a web URL already without any error?
Jitendra, sorry, I missed it.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yusuf, tell me.
Sorry, from main.tf API image, we have that gcr.io.
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
have to copy that, and where
Right.
we have to replace
In the
it?
backend dot, you can
Okay.
see there is a
Okay, in
backend
the
dot
back
app,
end,
right? Yes.
under that container image, we have to replace it.
Yeah, you can see this is the only structure you have, the line number 11, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So try that and let's see.
Can you check my screen and then tell me what to do?
Sure, we'll do that. Let's fix this component. US Central 1. One A. Okay. Let's say yes. If it is not going to work, then we have to rerun the plan and then try it again. But ideally, it should have worked. I hope so far it is making sense. You are able to relate it, whatever you're doing. Not completely, but at least from the architecture perspective, what we are trying to do. The three component that we are talking about. Okay. So if it is deployed for all, is it? You should be able to get this web page URL. Can anyone confirm?
In which file the region and zone value was there?
It was there in the def.tf vers.
Okay.
So can you tell what have to replace in these files? You said main.tf file, we have to replace something.
Yes. So in the main.tf file, if you can go, do you see the two images detail? This one, API image and the front end image.
Yes.
Copy this the API image, okay, and replace it in the backend app.tf.
So do we need to these lines from local? We have to disable it, like putting hash on.
Yes, yeah. Just comment it out completely.
Where
Okay.
we have to replace, in which line?
You can see the similar line. Okay, in the backend, if you see line number 11, it should be, I believe, gcr.io will find that is the only pattern because that is the only image we are using.
Yes, backend line 11 is replaced now.
Right. Then you can you take come back to the main.tf. Okay, take the
Yes.
front end image, and in
Okay.
that the path that you have the gcr.io, right? Take that and update that in the web app.tf.
Dev app, which
No, web app.
web app frontend.tf. Okay.
Yes.
Image.
Okay. Right. Line number 10.
Okay. And then we
Okay.
have to comment out everything in main.
Yes, comment out everything in main.
Okay, then save, Control S.
Yes, save all of those files. Okay, and now you can run the Terraform plan.
Jitendra, I'm still getting the error.
Okay, let's look into your config now. So Raju, for you it is already deployed. Let me just quickly touch up what we have done. So this is the application we got as front end, and it is for like just a to-do list, right? Simple app. But behind the scene, if you see, it can be extended to very bigger task. You can redesign it for multiple things, right? You have in the backend a database running. Okay, so all of those stuff can be done with it. For now, I will be going ahead and deleting it. I will just showcase what we can do with it. So I have everyone has to. I mean, for now you don't run. I'm just explaining it in Raju's system. Okay, so we need to run Terraform destroy like we did the application or the apply. So similar to that, we need to run the Terraform destroy. Okay. Again, we need to enter the details of those project ID and the region and the zone. Okay, so yes, central one hyphen A. Okay, so it will take care of destroying it. The application was very simple, like it was adding some task, removing some task. You can cross it out like that. Okay, so it will keep on running and then destroying. Okay, so let me approve it. So like apply here also, you need to have to approve destroying it, right? Because it's an infrastructure that we are playing with. It's very serious thing. Okay, so let me stop sharing for Raju. Yes, go ahead, Naresh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Everything has been deleted, Jitendra, from my project.
It is getting deleted.
Okay.
Don't do anything. Let it get deleted. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So yes, Naresh. So we are seeing the same error, right? So
Yeah.
can you go to the editor? Yes. Okay. So you have updated that now. This is for web app. Okay. You already saved it.
Yes.
Okay. Now go to the backend app, and you saved it.
Yes.
Okay. How about main.tf?
Yeah, I commented it.
That is commented. Okay. Is there anything that is not saved and all? Okay, that's fine. Now let's go to the terminal. Okay, execute your apply command. Yes, enter the project ID. Okay, US-central.
Okay.
Okay. Right, US-central-A. Yes. Okay. Yes.
Okay, so I got the URL.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what is the error for Rajiv again?
Not ready and cannot serve the draft.
I think it is not saved in your scenario. It is taking it from same app or something different. Hold on, let's see a little deeper. So it is taking it from to do.
Even I'm also getting the same error.
Okay, Yusuf, you are getting right. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you both using the Mac OS only?
No, I'm not using macOS.
Okay, fine. Okay, so here I. Okay, let's execute this Terraform plan first, and let's see what all things it is going to do. Before that, you can also show me the other part of code. Okay, so this is for project ID. Can you show me the backend?
Yeah.
No, not this one. Actually, the providers.tf. Okay, let's comment it out. Front end. Okay, so click on the front end again. Okay. Okay, generate the plan again. I mean, go and generate the plan again one more time. Yes. Okay. US, yeah, US hyphen central 1. Okay, enter.
Yeah.
If it is, yeah, okay, fine. So it says that 2 to add, 1 to destroy. Okay, that's fine. Let's try it out again. I believe it is because one of the service was already created, and that's why it is kind of creating a challenge.
Okay.
So why it is saying the only the 2 components to be added? Can you check like a backend was already done, or did you update that later on?
Where
I
can
think okay, I'm just checking the log. I mean, this itself, this plan itself. So this is okay. Oh, this looks fine. Fine. Let's give it a try if that works. Otherwise, what we will be doing, we will destroy everything, and then you need to rerun the init command plan and everything because your code is already updated, right? So let's give it a try first. If that works, use the Terraform apply, enter the project ID, right? Then yeah, yes, hyphen central 1. Okay. Yusuf, for you also, is it saying that for plan, when you execute plan, okay, yeah, say yes. So does it say like 2 resources to create and 1 to destroy?
Yeah, I also
Okay,
got the same.
okay. So
And
same
I've
error only,
applied
right?
it. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. If this is going to fix anyway, that's fine. If not, yeah, okay. So let's destroy everything and then you can try it out. So you can run destroy.
So I'm going to destroy also.
For you, it is working, right?
Yeah, that link was working.
You got the URL, correct?
URL is working, like
Oh,
opening.
okay. Fine. So that's great. So you got it tested anyway. Okay.
Okay.
So you can go ahead and destroy. Those who are done, you can definitely take a move. Yes, Vijay, tell me.
Actually, I'm getting that error of Cloud SQL instance already exists.
Okay. Why that can be an error then? Like even if it is there, yeah, destroy this. So we'll check yours as well. Let yes, Naresh and Yusuf, what I would suggest that go ahead and destroy it and run all of those commands init, plan, and the apply like as a fresh code, okay, fresh steps,
Yeah, sure.
and enter the project, and that should take care of it. Because what happens, it goes with a sync, okay? So definitely there can be dependencies can be added, but if there are not a right set of dependency added, what it does, some components are already created which were actually dependent on the other step, right? So that can actually somewhere create a problem.
Okay.
So it can be resolved by completely removing everything and then let it do from their own serialization, because it does the serialization, but there are some components which we may have to add a dependency on, like first create this one and then only the other part. Okay.
Okay.
So
So
continue with that. Yeah.
the error says the user provided container failed to start and listen to the code. Is that the
Yeah.
one we added that is getting failed to start?
Right. So maybe somewhere it is not able to identify the backend endpoint that it was trying to go through, right? So there can be internal errors. So the best approach is that you destroy everything and then try afresh with it. For this code, obviously this code is working fine with the set of configuration I had. Okay. So for you all's environment, you have to make a little bit of edits, but we also learned how to debug it, right? And we also saw what all codes are there apart from it. Okay. Yes, Vijay. So, Naresh, maybe you can stop sharing and you can continue behind the scene. Vijay, you can share your screen.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So Cloud SQL instance already exist. Why that can be an error here? Maybe you can show me your code. Okay. Yeah. Come down. Let me look at the error. Only the error part. Okay.
To-do list already. To-do list cache.
And what all edits you have done in the editor? Okay, that's fine. That is also fine. How about the backend and yeah, web app? Okay, it's also good. This is fine. Go to backend. All of these files are saved.
Yeah.
Okay, then fine. Go ahead and destroy everything and retry.
Destroy, Terraform destroy.
Yes, Terraform destroy. Similar to apply only this command box. So you have to enter all those details and say yes.
Destroy will, what it will destroy?
Everything, like all of the infrastructure that we created out of this Terraform code. Okay.
VP access.
Yes.
Destroy.
Okay, so this would be all for as part of this project work. Okay, let me stop the recording.